I am so excited that you are here. It has been a while since I have done an author interview, but I have a fantastic author, wonderful human being on my show today. I'm going to be introducing you to a man by the name of Ryan Swayt. And Ryan Swayt has written a fantastic book called College Acceleration Secrets. And I want to share with you real quick before we bring Ryan on that when I first started writing, I was told to write about what I knew. And Ryan has done that very thing. Ryan was a two-time college dropout, and he ended up graduating college later in 9 months. And so he wrote a book all about his experience with that, and he has gone on to help other people graduate in record time. So without further ado, I want to bring Ryan on. Ryan, thank you for being here. I am so excited to get to hear about this book and what you've written about.
Thank you for the kind words, Laura. I am happy to be here.
Well, Ryan, listen, I was told when I first started writing to write what I know. And that was really challenging for me because at the time I thought, I don't really know very much. But you, my friend, you know a lot. And you decided to write this book. And I want to hear what it was that motivated you to actually write what you knew about.
Yeah, so for me, and everyone has different reasons for writing books. And for me, it was for business reasons. I I sell a program, a coaching program where I teach people how to earn college degrees faster. Well, I get emails every day of people saying like, "Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me?" And I unfortunately just can't one-on-one coach everybody that needs help. And I thought, you know what? What can I do to provide this information to just a larger amount of people? And that's kind of where the book idea came in. And so I did a bunch of research and figured out how to write a book, and now we've got the end result, and I'm proud of it, and I hope that it helps more people. But that's kind of what it was, is like I had this information that I felt can change a lot of people's lives in earning college degrees in months instead of years. But I personally just don't have the bandwidth to help an unlimited amount of people. And I think that's the attractive thing about a book to me is anyone can buy a book and read my words without having to one-on-one have a conversation with me, and I can just help more people. And it's kind of where it all came in, Laura.
So, Ryan, tell me something. What was the process like for you? Because if I understand correctly, this is the only book you've ever written, right? So,
Mhm.
was there a little bit of fear in going into the writing process, or did you have a lot of confidence going into that?
For sure. I was excited, and I was excited for the end result, like to have the book done, but I didn't know how to write a book. And I have a very analytical brain. I think about systems and processes and things like that, and not an ultra creative brain. Like I couldn't sit down and just write a novel. I'm maybe don't have that storyteller gift, but I do know a lot about what I teach because I've been helping students earn degrees faster for a long time. So the information was already in my brain. It wasn't like I had to just come up with this big new thing, just writing about things that I already know. So my structure wasn't so much about how do I flow through a book. It was I'm a big fan of mind maps. And essentially what a mind map is you just take a blank sheet of paper and you write down everything you want to talk about, and then you kind of just maze it all together and draw arrows from this topic to this topic. And it's almost just like taking everything out of your brain and just dumping it all out in idea form, and then kind of connecting the dots while you're looking at it. And that's kind of where my process started, was what do I want to write about? And let's just get it all down in front of me. And then as I went, I started to kind of structure that into a more formal book format, and I went from there, and I just kind of filled in the blanks from there and just tried to tell the story along the way. I hope that makes sense, but it really was not this big, like, I'm an author and I know how to do this. It was, I know the information, and if you got the information in your brain, I think most people can get it down into book format. Really wasn't, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was a lot of work, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Wow, I'm so glad you said that. One of the things that I think happens to a lot of people is they have this information in their brain and they think, oh, I'm not an author. I can't write. And what I think we have forgotten or we don't know, perhaps, is that nobody needs permission to write. Am I right about that? Nobody needs permission.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I see too many people thinking that I have all of these ideas and maybe I'm not quite sure how to get them on paper, or maybe I am sure how to get them on paper, but I have to go through this big publishing company and I have to have a publishing agent or something to do that. But we no longer live in a day and age where we need permission to write. Long gone are the days when we have to send off dozens of manuscripts to dozens of publishing companies and wait for those rejection letters. Instead, we can do what's called self-publishing. And I know that's what you did with your book. So when you finally got all of your ideas out, when you went through your process and you got it out, what was it like to go through the self-publishing end of it? Did you know what you were doing when it came to formatting and all of that, or how did you learn all of that?
I did not know how to do any of it. And I do marketing for a living. I sell something on the internet. So as a result, I follow other marketers. Whatever you're interested in, you follow in your social media feeds and stuff like that. Well, I'm interested in marketing and advertising, so I follow other advertisers. Well, there's an advertiser that I love who wrote a book and said, you know what, I'm going to do a 3 hour web class and teach people how to do it. And I don't know, it costs $200 or something like that. Um, and I just went and learned from somebody else how to do it. And Laura, I think that's what you do is you teach people how to do this stuff. So what I did was I literally just found somebody that knew how to do it, and I took what they've already learned and I learned it myself in a couple of hours because I didn't have to start from zero and figure it all out on my own. I hope that makes sense. And
Oh, yeah.
then the work along the way, like we got to design like book covers and format everything all perfectly. I I don't have time for that. I have this business that I'm running. So I hired people to do it for me, formatting. So my thought is like if there's knowledge that you need, there's there's only a couple of ways to gain that knowledge. There's learn it on your own or just pay someone to help you that's already learned it. And for me, that's what made the most sense. And I am so glad that there are people that know this type of thing. And I wish I had met you sooner because I had gone through this process before I met you, but you've been great to work with as we've kind of connected and become friends. And yeah, like next time I'm coming to you and I'm picking your brain.
Well, thank you for that, Ryan. Yes, I do teach people how to go through that process. But I have a question for you. When you finally got your book done and it was published and it came to you in the mail and you held that, what was that moment like for you?
It was well, let me take a step back, Laura, because I the first copy, I had it printed the way I thought it would look really good and really cool instead of how the publishing company recommended it. So the first copy that came looked terrible. Like it looked so bad. Um so I was pretty discouraged and let down. But attempt number two, like I literally just made a few changes, like I want this type of cover instead of this type of cover. And I changed the style of the image on the book. And when the next copy came, it was crazy. Like it's this surreal feeling. Like I buy books all the time. Like if you guys want to see, like I love books. And when your own piece of work comes and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this looks and feels like a real professional book," and like other people are going to have this on their shelves. It's a weird feeling. It's surreal, but it's super rewarding, and it's like something that you can't lose, you can't undo it. It's like, "Oh, it's done," and then it's one of those accomplishments that's going to stay with you, which has been pretty cool, pretty
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, I will never forget the first time that I held my first book. And it was a terrible book. If I'm really honest about that, it was a horrible book. And I'm very transparent about it. I talk about it a lot on all of my podcast shows. It was horrible. But that feeling that I got in knowing that I had accomplished that and that I had done that really sort of was the catalyst for me going on to write 9 more books. I loved that feeling. I think I said earlier today to someone, I'm an accomplishment junkie. I love to feel that sense of accomplishment with things. And writing does that for me. I know there are people out there who want to write legacy books, a family story that they're afraid is going to get lost if they don't pass that down to future generations. And so they write about that. Or there are people who have this great novel burning inside of them, some funny story or antidote or whatever. And I love to encourage people to just do that, even if the first time you make that attempt, it isn't perfect. And I don't know too many authors who hit a home run the very first time, but that feeling that you get is like nothing else. It's like giving birth to your own child, right? I can't quite compare it to that, but it really is such a rewarding feeling. So having done that, I want to know, do you have any more books inside of you, or do you think this is it?
So here's the thing, Laura. I have a lot to say. Like I have a lot of life experience and lessons and things like that. But at the same time, like I feel like there's so many people in the world that are smarter than me and know more. So part of me, like a little part of me is like, this is the most valuable thing that I have to offer, but I'm sure more will come. I I didn't want to write a novel. I didn't want to write a story or tell a story. I wanted to take what I had that's the most valuable thing I had to share and teach it to other people. Well, I did my best to get it all into this book. So in the future, if there's just more knowledge that I've learned that I feel like can change lives, I totally will. But for right now, I feel like what I have to give that's the most life changing, I got it out. So I know that's not a direct answer to your question, but the answer is maybe. Maybe I've got another one in me. At least I know I can do it and that I can do it quickly. So if the time comes, it it'll be a lot easier second time around.
For sure. The second time is always easier, and the third and the fourth. It just gets easier with every book you write. I was very much like you in that I had no desire to write non or to write fiction. I only wanted to write nonfiction. But Ryan, we're going to run out of time soon, and what I really want to do is let people know about the contents of this book in sort of a thumbnail kind of sketch way. Can you just explain to us what it is that you do? I know you teach people, including myself, and I'm really proud of that. You teach people how to what we call hack their degree so that they can get through a degree program instead of spending 4 or 5 years getting a bachelor's degree, they can shrink that down into like you did in 9 months or maybe 18 months or even a year, and sometimes less, just depends on the person. But tell us a little bit about that process very quickly, and then how people can reach out to you to learn some of the stuff that's in this book.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. In a nutshell, I teach people how to hack college. I call the process degree hacking. And essentially, it's just a way around the traditional system. So when we enroll in school, you show up at school, and these universities, out of the kindness of their hearts, they have this system in place to teach us, right? And I use quotes because their system of learning is really inefficient. We're talking lectures and textbooks and homework and lesson plans and study guides and essays and quizzes and like all this stuff that we're used to with school. And we kind of have it ingrained in our brains like, that's how you learn. Well, any adult knows like when I need to learn something, what do? We have YouTube, we have AI, we have Google. It's really easy to learn. Well, after dropping out of college twice, I figured out, oh my gosh, there are lots of schools that let you test out of classes if you have the knowledge uh, that they're teaching, that if you understand the curriculum. Well, most students just take that and think, you know what? I don't know the curriculum, so I can't do that. Well, I kind of figured out a way to figure out what I needed to learn, and then I would self study those things and then go test out of classes. And 9 months later, I had my bachelor's degree after dropping out twice. And in two separate dropouts, I earned 6 credits, like 2 college classes. I did terrible. I failed classes, like all of those things. And then all of a sudden, 9 months later, I had a degree. Well, since then, I've been helping other people do the same thing. And I've helped people earn bachelor's degrees as quickly as 3 months. And we just keep refining the process and making it faster and faster and faster. And that's what the book's all about. It's about how to do this. And if you just go to collegeaccelerationbook.com, you can get the book. And yeah, it's one of those things where like a few dollars for a book and learn something that can totally change your life and get you that degree, qualify you for better jobs without having to spend tens of thousands in tuition and years in school, which I mean, I gave up on that process myself a number of times. So I get why students drop out, but there's a better way and you can do it faster and it costs a lot less money. So that's how I'm helping people.
Yeah, and you're doing a fantastic job. You've helped me. A lot of my audience doesn't know that I've gone back to school because of you and because of your degree hacking program. But I want to just quote something from your book here on page 28. You said, if it's all right, traditional students are consumers of education. They consume lectures, consume assignments, consume textbooks, all in the university schedule and terms. And what you've done is you've taught people how to go from being consumers to learners. And I'm going to share real quick. Give me just 1 second here. I want to go ahead and share this link that people can go to and find you talking. But if people go to this link, and I will leave the link in the description of this video, then they can find out not only how to get a copy of the book, but how to connect with you, and they can learn how to hack their degree, so maybe they can get done in, 6 to 9 months, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you need help, I'm here to help. I also want to add, Laura, if you want to write a book, I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably follow Laura or you want to be an author or write a book. She's awesome. Reach out to her.
Wow.
And that's super nice of you to give me a shout out. But please, everyone, look to Laura if you need to write a book. If you want to write a book, she has a lot of knowledge. I've picked her brain. I've learned things that have helped me. So, right back at you, Laura.
No, thank you, Ryan. That's awfully kind of you. Well, listen, Ryan, it has been wonderful to get to talk to you. I love getting to interview authors and find out all about their writing process. And I'm so excited for you that this book is finally out and that people can, find out more about you and about degree hacking. You've been watching me today and you've heard from Ryan Swayt, and I was so glad to have him on. If you are interested in learning about writing, editing, and publishing your own book, check the link in the description for my course. In the meantime, I love you all. God bless and have a wonderful day.